take out those Marines relatively easily.
Now, we do have the first Mutalisks on the way, and that attack was very, very, very well timed to take advantage of the fact that he was trying to get up that Spire tech, and it was just not going to be available for him when he needed it. So he is moving that third base down, but it is only an orbital, which means it's very much more vulnerable to counterattacks than the other bases are.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, do notice that there are destructible rocks there, so it's not going to be that vulnerable. Of course, if he just gets the turrets up, Velos aren't going to be able to do too much damage. So it's a relatively safe base, you know. It should be okay. Of course, if those destructible rocks do get taken out without Danosaur noticing it, we'll make it quite vulnerable.
Yeah, the first Mutalisks, they're making their way over piecemeal, which I'm not sure I like. He's going to want to deal with that turret very quickly, though if he just snipes it off, it won't even matter. All those mules having to run away, that's a huge economic problem.
Of course, Marines coming in here and managing to ward off these Mutalisks for a little bit. And Mutas might be coming in here to get... Oh! Up there on that high ground, check that out. That's actually awesome.
Yeah, the high grounds in this map are extremely important. Putting Overlords there, using it for Banshee or Mutalisk Micro is extremely important. We do have a Zerg player going up to his fourth base now. Actually going to be getting the extra gas that he's going to want to continue this Mutalisk production. He does have his army up on that western Zelnaga watchtower, and it looks like he's just waiting for the Teran to make a move out so that he can either counterattack straight in or get a good flank on it when the Teran's still in the middle of the map.
Yeah, and something I do want to point out to you guys, look at the supplies. We have 121 for Teran. He is on 3 bases, and for Zerg we have 105, and he's on 4 and almost 5 bases. So that's definitely completely different than what you would be used to seeing. And I think it's definitely, you know, it's providing a pretty interesting match.
What I think is most fascinating part about that is that I don't know too much about Brood War. I wasn't really active when Brood War was the big scene, but apparently Zerg was very much expected to be below Teran in supply. Admittedly, they had things like workers that would completely carve up Marines, but Banelings might be able to fill that role in with the proper micro, so it could be that on these maps, the smaller number of more valuable units like Mutalisks will actually make it so that it's more common for Teran to be up in supply.
Yeah, most definitely. Now we do have a little bit of meter harass coming in here, going to be targeting the reactors, as he should be doing, to limit a little bit of Marine production.
Does lose the Mutalisk, though. I don't think that that's worth it, because he still has so many other barracks, and just losing one Marine when he's producing like 7 at a time right now, and that's not even actually getting best use out of all of them, not worth it for the 100 gas that he had to waste.
It does look like we have a push coming, though, from our Teran player. He does have a 1-1 on his Marines, and no upgrades for the tanks.
Yeah, upgrades are another thing I've noticed is very interesting in this game, in that because you generally have fewer units, the upgrades are less valuable at any given time. When you have like 12 roaches, it might be better to just have 16 roaches with that 100 gas instead of going up to the 12 roaches at +1.
Yeah, especially when you're dealing with smaller groups of units, it really just comes down to the composition of the units, not necessarily the upgrades.
Right now we can actually see one of those small groups of units. He's sending out a small portion of his army just to go harass that base, but it does get very easily intercepted by these Zerglings. But at the same time, it's letting him get good position up on the creep.
Yeah, definitely, and he took out about 4 or 5 Banelings right there, and just with a small group of Marines, definitely showing that cost-effectiveness of Marines still exists, even with a map like this.
And our Zerg player has actually gone up in supply. He's going to want to be really, really, really careful with those things. But here comes the huge attack, just trying a straight-up bust, like running directly and trying to overrun. And that same very, very, very good target firing is going on. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. None of the back tanks are actually sieged, and he's completely surrounded, getting eaten alive by these Zerglings, who are actually at 2 attack upgrade to just the 1-1 of the Marines.
Yeah, that was definitely unfortunate for our Teran player. I feel like he probably would have benefited from a lot more tanks. At this, let's see, how many factories does he have right now? I think he only has 1? Yeah, he only has 1 factory. I feel like twice the tank production for me would be pretty decent, or maybe like some tank production with Thors in there to take care of the mutas. But yeah, he just got overrun way too easily right there.
Yeah, pretty much anything to start making use of that 1800 bank of gas. Like, even Ravens start to be good. And he's lifting off his main command center. Danosaur, you are the man. I've been waiting for Terrans to start doing this, because your minerals mine out so fast and your gas mines out so fast, you should just move it right on over. There's absolutely no reason to leave it in place.
Yeah, and if you guys will look at the second expansion from him, it was incredibly oversaturated. There's about 15 or so SCVs there, but it does look like Zerg is coming in for a bust once more and completely overrunning the Teran army. Will it be enough though? And going to this weapon, or to be the advantage to hold this off. Wow, really good job there by Teran.
I have to give Danosaur just the maddest props for his target firing. Every single time he sees Banelings, he selects all his tanks and makes sure that they're just trying to kill them off while maintaining his marine splits. And honestly, I really enjoy playing Teran, and I don't because I can't do that. My multitasking is just not up to the challenge.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult to do between splitting your marines all around and then targeting your tanks. It just gets a little bit too much, and then of course macroing at the same time. So mad props to him, for sure. Now it does look like Zerg is going to be coming in here and taking out that main center possibly. Marine units are targeting it, but a group of Marines is going to come in here and ward off these Zerglings as well as the mutas for now.
He's dramatically dropping in worker supply, though, down to just 33 against 77. And the Zerg has been taking all the bases up along the north, which means he can actually make use of that very, very high worker count. You don't often see that many workers in the games like this. Right now, Zerg is up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bases.
Yeah, Zerg is doing a great job of his macro. Really glad to see that. And Teran, you know, is just falling behind there. Of course, that is kind of the advantage of Teran. You can be a little bit behind, but at this point, you know, he doesn't even have a safe expansion to go to. The expansion that he's at right now is like straight up in the path of the Zerg and
leaves him really, really open to counterattacks. At any time the Zerg wants, he could just run right by that northern watchtower that he controls and go straight into the natural main.
Yeah, so I'm really not seeing too much hope for Tampa. Of course, he might pull through here. I feel like maybe some like a group of Marines sent down to some of the expansions to take out some workers would be a good idea.
Yeah, I do think he needs to be dropping a lot more aggressively if he's going to be going for this incredibly high Marine style. Every time I see a player successfully do this, my personal favorite is Muslim. I see him do this a lot on his stream, and it's fantastically effective, but it's all about being in the Zerg's face and making sure that they're never able to take an expansion and really hold it down too much beyond their third in a normal game of StarCraft 2, so probably beyond their fourth in one of these.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, on this map, I mean, typically you wouldn't see Teran, not this map, but like on smaller maps, or hold that thought, we do have a massive exodus of Zerglings coming in here for a counter, just going completely around the army and the expansion of the Teran player, and actually chooses not to attack him. So that's probably a good idea.
Teran's just going straight up for a counterattack. He's running his Marines in, trying to take out that 7th base, but I'm not sure it's really going to matter, particularly as our Zerg player sends down this enormous attack force. It's a very, very cute setup that he has going on with the bunker, but ultimately when you're dealing with 4 pages of Zerglings, I don't think he cares how nice your wall-in is around that bunker.
Yeah. There's just, I really don't see Teran lasting too long, as Zerg can just easily reinforce with all of these bases.
Though it is worth noting that the Zerg has actually dropped below, he did for a moment, he dropped below the supply, so there was actually a very large number of Zerglings killed there, and he's continuing this attack, the Teran. He's moved up to the all-mineral expansion, and it's going to, looks like, push right into the main, and where are the AoE units that are needed to take this out? I know that he had several infestors, but I don't see what they're doing.
Well, he has 7 infestors right now being produced, and they're not going to be done for a while, but there are about 100 Zerglings, and they're going to try to get a surround off on these Marines. It looks like Marines are going to be forced to lift off into the medevacs, but they are going to continue to apply some pressure and go into possibly the main base of our Zerg player. He probably shouldn't drop out of the medevacs, though. Oh, but he's going to do it anyways, I guess.
I think he's worried about the Mutalisks. He doesn't know where the Mutalisks are right now, and knows that if they get run into by even just 4 Mutalisks, they pick off the right things, he's out of the game. And now even though the Zerg was down in supply, you can see his overwhelming macro advantage starting to kick in. At 174th supply to just 90, and none of these medevacs are going to get away. That was one of the big advantages that Danosaur had, completely gone.
Yeah, and I mean, we can see the Danosaur's SCVs are just like running into his army in this big player. They don't have anywhere to go. And it looks like Zerg's going to be able to clean up even this push from the Teran player with relative ease, just simply with Zerglings. Doing a great job. Yeah,
when you have that many Zerglings, you don't need to use the higher tech units to actually tear down all the Marines. And this one final expansion of Danosaur is actually going to be denied right now, just by a handful of Zerglings, keeping the action going on all over the map.
Yeah. So, not really sure what Danosaur can do here.
Yeah, at 25 supply, I think the Danosaur is done, but there are definitely things to look at Mafia's play that I really like. He just immediately retakes the expansion. Even though it's kind of vulnerable, even though it might be picked off again, he just needs to keep his number of bases high. I think that hopefully Danosaur will understand that at 10 supply, he's kind of out of this game. I admire the spirit, never give up, never surrender, but...
Yeah, he's got like that Korean umph in him where they just never GG till the last minute a lot of the times.
Yeah, it's 4 Marines and 4 SCVs against 160 Zerglings.
And there's the GG tweet. That was very cool. It was definitely interesting to see. I think just I don't know, that many Zerglings is just so scary. It's so hard to deal with.
Yeah, that's one thing that Teran does definitely need to pay a lot of attention to, and I think that the only thing that can really handle it is siege tanks. Blue Flame Hellions are pretty good, but unless you're committing to full mech, they're very awkward to incorporate into your army. So yeah, it definitely looks like the gigantic, huge number of Zergling style, particularly when you're, I don't think he ever got up to a second factory. So just one
yeah, he didn't.
Yeah,
he
just
didn't
one factory tank is not going to be able to deal with this. There's no way.
Yeah, and yeah, so that's pretty cool to see there.
Yeah, that was an excellent game. So
I was gonna say something. I can't remember what I was gonna say, but I think you pretty much covered it with the whole idea of there needed to be more tanks, and that's what it was. Yeah, even if you had gotten more tanks on this map, it's just so open. There's so many corridors to go around for counterattacks from Zerg. Flanks would have been so easy, and I think maybe our Teran player just kind of was a little bit confused, wasn't sure what he needed to do.
Yeah, I think his biggest mistake was probably in the aggressiveness of expanding. He was stuck on 3 base for a very long time. He never really, in fact, he never even tried for that mineral-only base, and when I saw him moving his main over to that mid-right base, I knew that he was desperate, because that has to be a planetary. There's absolutely no way that an orbital will be safe there, ever.
Awesome. Sweet.
So,
well, thanks guys for tuning into this one. Do you have anything else that you wanted to comment about this?
Well, I just wanted to say that both of us are relatively new casters, but actually, well, you've been casting since the beta, but you're getting more back into it recently. Yeah. We're probably going to be doing a lot more of these games. I think this is working really well. So you can check out my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is WiseOldSenex, after the just youtube.com/WiseOldSenex. And Paul, where's your channel at?
You can find me at youtube.com/PullSC. Very easy to find.
Alright, so I think that will wrap it up for this game, and I will talk to you later, Paul, and thanks everybody for watching.
Alright, thanks guys.